Hey guys, I'm Nick, and this is Nick's Quick Book Review. Today I am reviewing Stephen King's book, The Green Mile. The Green Mile is set in the 1930s, and it's basically about a man named John Coffey. John Coffey is a black man, don't forget 1930s here, and he's a really big guy. And he literally has a gift from God, and he can heal people by taking them and sucking out whatever it is that ails them or whatever. He can heal people. He literally can suck the sickness out of them. Well, John Coffey is a simple man, okay? That's the best way to describe him. I wouldn't call him anything else. He's just a simple man. He's not too intelligent. So one day, there was two twin girls that were missing, and they were looking for him. And they come up to this guy. Don't forget 1930 here. They come up to this big black guy, holding them in his hands, saying, "I can't take it back. I can't take it back." And he's just crying, and these girls are covered in blood. Anybody who walked up to this scene would think, "Oh my God, this guy just killed these two girls." He's bawling. He's saying, "I can't take it back. I can't take it back." So they obviously arrest him, convict him, goes to jail. He's on death row. Well, why he was crying was not because he killed them and he couldn't take it back. He was crying because he didn't get to the girls in time to heal them. He was crying because he couldn't save them. He can't bring people back to life. If they're dying and they have a sickness, he can heal them. But when he came up to these two girls, they were already dead, and he tried to heal them. And he couldn't, and that's why he was so upset. He was crying because he could not save these two girls. He is a gentle giant. He would not hurt anybody. And that's why he was crying. Well, like I said, he's simple. He can't really defend himself. This is the 30s. He's a black guy. He doesn't have a chance. So he gets convicted, and he's on death row. Well, on death row, basically there's the Tom Hanks character. I'm sure everybody's seen this movie. Tom Hanks character, Paul, which is the prison guard. And there's another prison guard there named Percy. Percy is the villain, I guess you would say. He is a guard who only has his job on death row because I can't remember off the top of my head now, even though I just read this book. His brother-in-law is the governor. He has contacts higher in office, and he wanted to get this job just so he could hurt people and just so he could watch somebody get executed. That's all he wanted this job for, is just so he wants to see somebody die. And Paul starts to realize, well, wait a minute here. There's more to Coffey here, John Coffey. He realizes that John Coffey has this gift. John Coffey healed Paul when he had a really bad infection and was in a lot of pain, and John Coffey healed Paul, and he took his sickness away. And then they come up with a plan. Paul comes up with this plan. The warden's wife is dying. She's got cancer and she's dying. They literally come up with a plan to sneak Coffey out of prison, to take him to the warden's house, to heal the warden's wife and bring him back to jail. So they lock up Percy, the bad prison guard. Paul and the other guards sneak him out. They take him to the warden's house, and the warden, after he sees what happens, it all works out. He literally goes there and saves the warden's life. She was dying, and he healed her, and he saved her. Then they bring her back to prison. They bring him back to prison, and when they bring him back, they let Percy out. And what happened is John Coffey literally took the sickness that he took from the dying warden's wife and released it into Percy, and Percy died. So, and I know I'm really getting into detail about this book, and a lot of people have seen the movie, but the book is, even though they did a great job with the movie, because they did a great job with this movie. A lot of times they don't do Stephen King movies justice. This movie they did. But even as good as the movie was, the book is that much better. So they bring him back, and he's on death row. So I don't want to say, listen, everybody probably knows how this ends because almost everybody's seen the movie, but I still don't give away endings. But I do want to say this much. I'm not giving away the ending of what happens to John Coffey, even though you should know if you've seen the movie, is the Tom Hanks character, which is Paul, is writing all this down and and now it's 1980. So it was basically, this happened in the 30s. He's 104 years old, living in a nursing home, and he's writing all this down, and he's keeping a journal. And there's more to it than that. There was the one scene in the, well, not scene, but the one part of the book where Percy, the bad guy, steps on this mouse. It was a pet mouse of another guy who was on death row and killed it. Well, Coffee literally healed the mouse and brought it back to life. Not brought it back to life, it wasn't dead. He healed it before he died. So he healed this mouse, and the mouse lived. So, but there's a thing, whenever Coffee heals somebody, not only are they healed, they're blessed with a long life. So this mouse is still alive in 1980, when it was back in 1930 when he healed him. And Paul, the prison guard, is still alive, and he's 104 years old and with no signs of dying anytime soon. So it's basically, I've said a lot, and it's a very good book. You know what? This is the first time I'm reviewing a Stephen King book. I got to tell you right now, Stephen King is one of my favorite authors. And if I was pinned down and you asked me who is my favorite, I'd probably, even though I don't like to say, because I have a lot, I'd say he's my favorite. The guy's great. I've never read a Stephen King book I didn't like. Never. Some are better than others, sure. This is one of the few books that I would absolutely rate as excellent or outstanding. I usually don't call books excellent. I don't. And this is one of those few books that I call excellent. It is that good. I absolutely love this book. So I don't care if you've seen the movie. If you read, I recommend reading this book. It's that good. And I don't know what else I can say. It's a Stephen King book. I love Stephen King. I would never say anything bad about Stephen King books. They're all great. This is one of his best. So I definitely recommend it. And if you have any comments about this book or about the movie, or anything, anything about that, please leave a comment. If you like this review, please hit like. And until next time, cheers.